I'm Amber Davis and welcome to Call to Stage. This is the space where musical theatre takes centre stage. From unforgettable backstage stories with incredible special guests to insights from my life and my theatre journey. We're leaving it all on the mic every single week, so let's jump in. Hi guys, welcome back to Call to Stage with me, Amber Davis. Now, I met this person sitting next to me, believe it or not, in freedom. And I said, oh my gosh, we were chatting, I think for an hour at the bar. Just got on straight away and I said, I need to get you on my podcast because our listeners are going to eat you up. Yeah. It's the wonderful Jamaal Fields-Green. I was just saying, guys, I say my hard A's, so I was like, Jamal. And he's like, it's Jamal.
No, but it was cooler than that. It wasn't just like it's Jamal. No, it's still fine. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Of course.
I just want to say, firstly, are you enjoying London?
Of course. You know, I'm a New Yorker through and through, so there's a lot of similarities from New York and London. But I'm loving the differences as well. I mean, I feel at home, but also not at the same time, you know.
I know.
I'm liking it. It's cool. It's a change of scenery. Cheaper. Yeah. You know, the difference in pounds and dollars. I love it. It's not
it's the perks.
Yeah.
It's the perks of the West End. Yeah. You know, you feel so rich.
Yeah, completely. I feel like the richest man in London right now. This is perfect. I'm going to stay here all the time.
We also have the same agent.
We do.
This is just for me, guys, you can just listen in. Did you pick up Ollie when you came to the UK?
I did. So when we came last year, everyone had gotten sick and they flew me out for like the 2 days, the 3 shows that I did. And my manager and we just thought, let's use this opportunity to the best of our ability. Let's reach out to a bunch of folks and see how much will come out and see the show. And only one person got back. And it was Curtis Brown, and they weren't able to see the show at the time, but they were interested, and they were like, does Jamal have his working visa, you know, over here, you know, next time he's here for an extended amount of time, let us know. And then I came back literally 2 months later, coincidentally, for another quick 2-day thing, and coming back, I was like, let's see if they're available. And
Ollie came.
Yeah.
And then he's from there, legend.
And he's amazing. I love him. He's great. I'm so happy, so thankful.
We're in safe hands with Ollie.
Yeah.
Ollie Thompson, we love you. So, we haven't even said yet. Jamal plays MJ in MJ the Musical in town.
No, yeah. I was joking. I was like, I think I do.
Yeah, you do.
No, yeah, I do.
You're that tired.
I think so. No, yeah.
It shows MJ.
Yeah.
So you, like you said, you came over as an emergency MJ a couple of times.
Yeah.
Did you think then and there, I could, if the opportunity came up, I think I'd actually like to.
Yeah.
Did you?
It was weird, you know, because at the time I was an alternate on the tour back in the States.
Yeah, American.
Yep.
North American.
Yep. And then, funny enough, there was conversations about me taking over, but I was very adamant about going back to Broadway because that's where I started. I was a standby originally on Broadway for Middle Michael and Michael for MJ. And I was really adamant about, I want to go back to Broadway. I just want to be back in New York. I'd rather just stay in one spot rather than touring. And coming out here, I always say I had a moment where I saw God's plan versus my plan, you know, thinking that Broadway, New York was where I needed to be. But then being out here I just saw all the opportunities literally in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
And had some conversations and a deal was met, you know, for me to come out here eventually and boom.
I love that.
I'm here. Yeah. No regrets so far. I'm happy that that's where the cards fell.
Yeah,
know?
Of course. And did MJ win the Olivier?
For best choreography.
Yeah.
Yeah, for best choreography.
You know, so that just happened.
Yeah.
You know?
I got to go and attend and everything, and it was awesome, you know, so I'm just kind of riding this wave that is MJ and with the Oliviers and everything, and kind of just, you know how we do with actors, you know, as actors, we make the best of it, you know?
Can I ask, have you got any quirky rituals before going on?
I run a mile before a show.
Do you?
Yeah, almost every show. Not every show, but like I run a mile.
Wait, how?
I go to the gym
Like, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant around the building.
No, I'm not running like through the West End. You can see me outside
in a costume.
In my costume, just running. No. It'll usually be before I leave my place. I'll go to the gym and I'll run a mile, do some ab workouts to just get my core activated and everything.
Yeah, because it's physically big, isn't it?
It is. No, it is. It's very, very demanding. But every time I tell people I run a mile, they're like, before a show? And I definitely do it before every 2 show day. Because it's just the best. I learned early on, physical activity is one of the best ways to actually warm up the voice rather than just warming it up. And with this show, because I'm singing so much, I'm speaking so much, I warm my voice up, but I try to keep everything that I have in the tank before using it.
Yeah.
So I'll run a mile.
That is a top tip.
Yeah. Run a mile.
Run a mile.
Run a mile.
And also keep your, tank full.
Yeah.
You don't want to exhaust your voice before getting out there.
No, completely. You got to save what you got.
Yeah. Also, I don't know about you, but for me, Jordan in Gatsby isn't you can't compare to MJ, but I did play Vivian Ward in Pretty Woman, and it was the speaking for me that actually exhausted me more than the actual singing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like once a song's in your muscle memory, as long as you're like healthy and
you can just
hydrated,
hit the bells and whistles and everything.
Hit the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
Where it's the talking that's actually like strenuous on my voice personally anyway.
No, it's fascinating. I mean, even a lot of people always think, because you get to speak like MJ, you're speaking in a higher register. I assume it must be easier on your voice. I'm like, no, it's actually not. It's actually more work.
Yeah.
Because with all the dialogue and then speaking in that register of that lightness and that tone, it's actually more work than you would think. I mean, sometimes, maybe it might feel a little like I'm taking some ease off my chords, but talking so much. It's a full show. It's a full show. So no, not at all.
I'm intrigued to know, do you do vocal rest?
When I first started, yes. And every now and then, if I'm tired, yes. But for the most part, no. I'm a chatterbox.
Same.
I'm a chatterbox. So I go home and I'm talking nonstop. But I mean, I think my body and the muscles in my body have found out how to work without me having to think to use them, So they'll just do, everything's kind of just like clockwork now. But I mean, vocal rest, no. Even two show day, I'm on the phone maybe with family in between or checking in with folks. But I also do a lot throughout the week and during the day.
Yeah,
so
you're a doer.
I'm a doer. I'm not a sleeper, unfortunately.
And what about top tricks? Like, do you ever steam or nebulize?
I nebulize the entire show.
Yeah.
I nebulize every show beforehand, during, any pockets in between scenes where I'm off stage. I grab the nebulizer. I usually, I'm hydrating all the time, but I also have it's not tea, but I call it tea, but it's just hot water, lemon, and honey.
Okay.
And I just sip on that. All those 3 things are basically like my little concoction of things that get me through the show. Outside of, I know a lot of singers don't like this, but vocal zones.
I love vocal zones.
Yeah, I always have a vocal zone under my tongue. Almost everyone in my company is like, you need to let those things go. They're not good for your voice. They're not good for your voice.
Nope. Listen to this, okay? Yeah. I had this debate on TikTok the other day.
Yeah.
If you, the ones that know. There is no numbing agents, numbing things in a vocal zone. It can't physically harm your voice.
Yeah.
Factual. It also can clear out all of your airways. If you're ill and you're recovering from losing your voice, okay, maybe it can give you a false sense of security.
Yeah.
So I probably wouldn't if you're recovering from an illness. Right. But it's not going to damage your voice.
You heard it right here. PSA. Yeah. Vocal zones, use them.
Yeah, I love them.
I love them too.
Oh my God,
they're great. They're great. They're great. Yeah,
I love them so much. Yeah. It can't harm your voice in any way. Oh, and then one thing I want to ask. What is your favorite part of the show?
Easily Smooth Criminal.
Yeah.
Smooth Criminal. I feel like a superhero when I do that role. I could be literally in the worst mood possible, and there's something about that number that'll completely just change my mood because you have no choice but to pull up.
Yeah.
You have to. It's Smooth Criminal, and just with the lights and the way the music can hit in the chest and just the choreography. I feel like the baddest man on the planet when I'm doing that number.
Are.
Yeah. So so I would say Smooth Criminal for sure.
You are like one of the... I remember when I met you, I thought, God, you're so cool.
Oh, thank you.
Like the geekiest thing. Oh, God, so cool.
So cool. I'm really a nerd, though, really, honestly.
Are you?
I am. I'm a big nerd. Big comic book nerd. Big movie nerd. I love movies so much.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that.
Oh, please.
So you were born and raised in New York?
Yes, ma'am.
I love that. Isn't that the coolest thing ever? Yeah. Like for us, that's so cool.
Well, it's the same thing, you know, if you were to come to New York and you're like, yeah, born and raised in London, and be like, oh my God, you're like, your accent, oh my goodness, you know.
We can get away with murder in America because our accents.
Seriously.
And you graduated with a BFA in musical theatre from Hart School.
Yes, the Hart School. So it's the University of Hartford, and in that school is the Hart School for dance, music, and theater. And
is it quite elite?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you went to like one of the best of the best.
Yeah, you know, the program is definitely on the up and up. You know, compared to like you know, the program isn't a Michigan or like, you know, some of the other higher programs, but it's on its way up. But I always was a firm believer and still am. It depends not where you go, but where you do go is where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, and I was really able to hone my skills and hone my craft and everything. And it's a beautiful program. It's a great program. You know, there's a lot of people that have come out of that program.
And how long's the program for?
4 years.
What?
4 years. Yeah, just like college. This is college. Yeah, 4 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So did you do anything like curriculum?
Like outside of? Yeah, I had a psychology class that I took. I took a statistics. I'm not good at math, but I am good at statistics. I took a statistics course my senior year. We had a couple of electives and stuff outside that we had to take, but the majority of our schedule was dance, music, and theater. Yeah.
Wow, you're so intriguing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, it was crazy. It was crazy.
What made you want to go and do that course? Were you always naturally a great dancer, actor? Where did the love come?
Well, my mom, you know, single mom. She worked at NBC growing up, and she would bring me to work a lot. And she worked right under the chairman, so she worked at the top office. It was this big office, so many rooms, and she always needed somewhere to put me because, you know, I was not like I could just sit at her desk while she's working all the time. And I would always be in one of the offices. It would be like a big table with a big flat screen TV and all these old school Universal film posters were all throughout the walls. That and Russell Crowe's Gladiator, because I was like the hottest movie at the time. Okay. And I would just watch movies all the time. I'd bring 4 to 5 DVDs, a few of my toys, and my homework if I had some homework that I had to do. And I think that's where it started. I sang for fun as a kid. Dancing, I mean, I danced at parties. I would always pick up the latest trends or whatever, but I never really took any dance classes growing up. I didn't have any singing lessons until I got to school, until I got to college.
Wow.
I didn't start until I got to school. So I started late, basically.
Whoa, and what made you do that leap?
My friends and I had the choice our sophomore year of high school to either take an art class or a music class, and we had a rap group at the time. Can't tell you the name because there wasn't a name.
Oh, right. I was going to say it wasn't really inappropriate.
No, there wasn't a name. We were just a rap group, and I was like, let's take the music theory course so we can learn how to read music and separate ourselves from all the other rap groups or rappers. I thought it was the most revolutionary thought in the world. And we got in that class and we didn't pay a lick of attention at all, because these are still my best friends to this day. You put us in a room together, we're gonna do everything but pay attention. Yeah. We're goofing off, and the music teacher basically was like, "You got your audition for the musical," and we were like, "Yeah, right," because we played sports, either American football or basketball varsity for all of us. And
hang on, are you going like you're giving me High School Musical?
It was completely High School Musical. It was completely High School Musical, and then we auditioned. My best friend Matt signed us up as a joke, and we were like, ha ha ha, let's sign up for the musical and not do it, you know. It'd be so funny. And we ended up auditioning, and I got the lead.
Okay, Troy.
Yeah, and it was Seaweed in high school, in Hairspray.
Oh my gosh, this is like the perfect story.
And we had the best time, you know. We fell in love with the you know, because of course, you know, different social groups, you know, in high school, and we kind of got all the kids to come and see, everyone to come and see the show that year, and we sold out every single show, and we had the best time and did it the next 2 years. And our choreographer the next year was The Wiz, and I got the Scarecrow, funny enough, and he pulled my mom aside after my first show and was basically, these were his words, he has the it factor, he could do this for the rest of his life if he wants to. but it's up to him. And at the time I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and doing this for the rest of my life, I was like, I knew that I loved music and I loved dancing and I loved movies. So it was kind of like why not? And my mom, when I said I wanted to do it, my mom was like, that makes sense. Because originally I wanted to go to school for business. She was like, yeah, you could do that. But she's like, this makes sense. So I got an acting coach, and he prepared me for my auditions. I auditioned for all the top schools in the country, got into 2, and ended up going to Hart.
Wow, this is epic story. I bet all the girls in your year fancied you.
Yeah. maybe a few. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Hamilton.
Yeah.
You played John Lawrence and Philip Hamilton in the production in Chicago.
Yeah.
Was this your first professional job?
No, I did some regional work beforehand.
Okay.
This was like the first big one. Because I had done some regional work that was big for the time. You know, I got the experience that I needed from those jobs. But a lot of them were more so like either summer stock or like intern type base. Like for example, I was at this big regional theater in Connecticut, but it was the ensemble for Shakespeare.
Okay.
I didn't get paid for it, but I got the experience. So it was like an internship, basically.
Okay, yeah, got you.
So this was like the first big thing, and it was right out of school, which was it was such a big deal at the time, and it was still, Hamilton is still Hamilton, but this was back then when Hamilton was like
Hamilton.
It was Hamilton, and I just remember it was crazy.
Well, Hamilton's my favorite musical of all time.
Okay.
I love it so much.
Yep.
Just tell me everything. The audition process.
Okay.
Did you meet Lynn?
I met everyone but Lynn. So I was still in school at the time.
Okay.
We were getting close to graduation. We had to do a showcase. I don't know how it works out here, but at the end of your collegiate program, you basically get to do a showcase in New York, invite producers or whoever comes will come, and someone from Telsey, who cast the show, came through and invited me to come and audition. And that morning my car got towed.
Oh God.
With my rep book in it.
Oh gosh.
All my materials were in it. I remember I pulled out a headshot. I was like, at least I have my headshot and resume. And it was one of my just headshots, no resume behind it. I remember I started freaking out in the office, and my mom was like, just go in and just do your best. And thankfully people are human beings, So I told the woman that was running the audition, I told her what happened. She was like, that sucks. It's okay. We'll do what we can. And I knew the material in my head. So she was like, just, I'll get your materials afterwards. You could just send it to me afterwards. Did it there. And I remember we get outside, and this always gives me goosebumps. I got outside after my audition, and she was like, come here. I'm thinking I'm going to exchange information like she said we were. And she goes to this folder and says Hamilton. It has all the characters' names on it. And she pulls out a big folder from the John Lawrence Philip thing, which was, mind you, this was my dream role at the time. And I thought it was going to take me years to do it. And she was like, make sure you have this when you come back. The next time we're going to call you in a few weeks, have this whole thing prepared. Great job today, and we'll see you in a few weeks. And I remember I went to get my car from the tow, wherever it's called, from there, and they gave me the bill, and I was like, whatever, give my car back, I don't care. And I remember it was a big snowstorm, and my car's not made for the snow. I'm driving back, listening to Hamilton, I'm freaking out, like dang near crying, happy tears. They called me, I remember then I was at school still, so every day in school, I'm checking my emails. I was like, I don't care about this, I need to see my emails. They called me back in a few weeks later, maybe like 2 weeks. I come in and we just did a work session for about an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
All the material for Lawrence, spanning from Lawrence and Philip. And then we did that over the course of 6 more times, over the course of 2 more months. So then I graduated, and I'm still in school, came in a couple times, and then I graduated, came back in.
Did you know then? I think they're preparing me for this.
I didn't know. I was like, it's just a matter of when now.
Yeah.
I was like, at this point, they keep calling me in, and every time they were like, yeah, we just want to see more. We just want to see more. They're like, you're not doing anything wrong. They're like, doing all the right stuff. We just want to see this for next time. And then on the 7th callback, Alex Lackamore was there. Thomas Cale was there. Mm-hmm. Everyone except for Lynn. And there was a camera in the room, and I was like, that's Lynn. I was like, that's definitely, it has to be for Lynn. And I remember that right after the day after, I don't know if Red Lobster's a thing here. I took my family to Red Lobster the day after. We were celebrating just life. And I took my little cousin to go see a movie. It was the first Purge movie, Anarchy. That was the name of the film. and it was a long line for concessions, and I was like, go in the theater, so let me know what I missed in the first 5 minutes, let me know what you want. Agent calls, I stepped right out of line. And he basically told me that, he was like, you booked it, they want to see you immediately, they want, you have to move immediately, just how everything goes, how it just moves very, very quickly. And I remember I go in and my cousin was like, where are the snacks? And I told him, I was like, I booked Hamilton, and it was just us two in the theater, and we were just screaming the entire time, like, oh my God. And then I was, funny enough, I was in the ensemble for Grease for a summer stock theater in Connecticut. Finished on a Sunday, drove home to New York to pack my things, flew out the next day, and I started rehearsals 2 days after that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is like a story.
It was crazy. So, some of the best moments of my life.
Hamilton has such an incredible reputation.
Mm-hmm.
What did it live up to it?
Completely. I always say it's some of the best moments of my life doing that show. I got to find myself also doing that show. It was also a transformative period in my life while doing that. So I have so much nostalgic value to those years. I met my fiance in that show.
Oh, did you?
She was the bullet.
Of course she was.
Yeah.
We all of us want to marry the bullet.
Yeah, she was the bullet that shot my heart.
Oh.
No.
And your anniversary was the other day.
Yeah, this past Friday. 6 years. We get married next month.
Yeah. Where are you getting married?
We're going back to Atlanta.
Have you got time off the show?
Yeah, and then we go to Mykonos, Greece for our honeymoon. I'm very excited, yeah.
I've never been to Mykonos, but apparently it's amazing. You need to go to a place called Scorpios.
Okay.
Very expensive, but beautiful.
I will let you know. The first thing I'll say is very expensive, but fun.
Well, congratulations, and I hope you have the most amazing wedding day.
Thank you.
We haven't got long left in this section because we have a Patreon section with listeners where I'm going to ask you just fun questions, but I do want to talk about quickly you played AJ in The Choir Boy.
Yes.
And that was a Tony Award-winning play at the time. Well, no, it just what?
It was maybe 3 years off of that, because this was in Philly. This was a regional production in Philly. But it's such a beautiful piece of theater. It's so beautiful, such a beautiful story. One of those gigs that come around, one of those shows that come around, and you don't realize until you do it that I really, really needed this show in my life, or I just needed this in my life. I needed this piece of art. It's a very small cast. All of those guys are my brothers to this day. Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. And Philly is also a great city.
I've never been.
In the States, go. You'll have a great time.
Really?
All you need is like 4 days.
Okay. Okay, I'll go.
Quick train from New York.
I want to talk to you about your alter ego.
Okay. Yep.
Jay Hassan.
Yeah.
Hassan. See?
That's fine. No,
Hassan.
It's okay. No.
Jay Hassan. Yeah. Okay. Tell the listeners who Jay Hassan is.
Jay Hassan is my alter ego. It's my music alter ego. That's all of my music is under Jay Hassan. I do R&B, pop, a little bit of hip hop, a little bit of everything. Hassan is one of my middle names. Okay. So it's still my name, but just different, kind of like a Childish Gambino, Donald Glover type thing.
I love it.
All the same, but also different. I have a new EP that I just dropped this summer called What Was the Reason? New visual that I dropped recently from Never Let You Go. New visuals dropping from that as well. I got to... Go ahead.
No, for me, you know how incredible it is that you have created so many avenues for yourself.
Thank you.
It's like you're not what's it called? Pigeonhole.
Yeah.
You're not pigeonholing yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I love musical theatre and that is a passion and I'll absolutely do it. However, I do have a passion for music and I'm going to continue to work with that, and do that. Yeah. Like, that's insane.
Thank you.
Like, it's very admirable. Like, people should really take lots of motivation from this conversation.
I hope. Yeah.
And, how do you split your time, effort, energy?
People ask me this all the time, and it sounds so cliche, but I just do it. I mean, going into school and not having the experience that I did and being behind everyone, I felt like an outsider a lot of the times, because I'm also not your typical theater kid. But I just knew, I stuck to the vision of, I want to do this, but I want to do this, I want to do this. And I learned we as human beings are more than one thing. We're capable of doing more than one thing. And I just learned early on, if there's something that you want to do in this world, go out and make it a reality. You know what I mean? There's no one in your way except for you, So when it comes to all these things, it's just, I want to leave behind a legacy that far exceeds however long I'm on this earth for afterwards, not just in theater, not just in television and film, not just in music, but just the wide range of everything. When my name comes up, whether it's Jamaal Fields-Green or Jay Hassan, you'll say, man, that catalog that he left behind was crazy. You know, he left us so much art. He left us a legacy, you know? So with that, I mean, that is what drives me to do that. And then also the passion. I also love what I do. I can't see myself doing.
It's not work.
Else. It's not work.
You know, love it.
Sometimes I'm like, this is work. But you know, but for the most part, no. It's like, you know, getting the opportunity to create, the opportunity to be better than I was the next day. It sounds very cliche, but it's true. You know, I love what I do. I do what I love, and
oh my gosh,
I'm gonna make it great.
You're fantastic.
Thank you. You are as well.
And then also, just before we finish here.
Yep.
Not only, you know, have you got those two projects, you also have a production company.
Yes.
Called, right, am I saying this right? Yeah. DRMR.
Yeah, Trust Your Instincts, Daydreamer.
Daydreamer.
So it's just without those vowels at the end. Yeah, it's Daydreamer. There's a lot of daydreamers, that's why. So, and my fiance, Amber, she was like, you should just take out the EA and the E at the end. And I was like, huh.
Have you trademarked that?
Yeah. LLC
wow.
and LTD since I came out here.
Yeah. And LTD. Yeah. You're a clever guy.
I try.
I want to talk to you about the film The Inevitable.
Yes.
So you were the director, producer, and star of the film, which was all about the reigning champion in MMA.
MMA, yeah, just MMA. So it's a full-fledged film that I wrote, and after when the pandemic happened, I had been wanting to write for so long, but never had time. And then when the pandemic happened, I did have time. And I wrote this film, and kind of it's like a little bit of a short film based off of that. Shot that a few years ago. I put on 15 to 20 pounds of muscle to play the role. And then coincidentally booked MJ right after I finished shooting it. So that I had to lose all of it immediately, which was crazy. But yeah, no, it was my first short film that I ever made. We won Best Action Short at the Indie Short Fest.
Oh yes, the name, I did read that.
And then from there, I made my second short film, The Trick.
Okay.
Which we won. We premiered at LA Black Film Festival last year, and won Best Actor at the Las Vegas Indie Film Festival. But I only wrote and directed that one. I didn't star in that one.
Okay.
And then I'm about to complete my third one this summer.
Which is called
Shadows, and it's a horror film. Yeah.
Well, if you ever need an actress.
Oh, I will definitely let you know.
I could make my screen debut.
Please. We'll talk after this.
You are so inspiring. You know that. Never, like, no one is you, and that is your power. Yeah. I don't think I've ever met anyone quite like you. And I've met a lot of people, you know. So it's been honestly an honor to have you on. I cannot wait to see you play MJ. And guys, if you should take absolutely anything from this conversation, is that, like you said, the only person that's standing in your way is yourself. Yeah. You know, there is enough success in the world for everyone, and reach for the stars. We live once, and you are just a perfect example of that. Like, go after what you want.
Thank you. Every day.
So Patreon listeners, keep listening, and we will be back shortly. But to everybody else, thank you so much, and thank you, Jamal.
Thank you.